Oh, hi, Bob.
Hi. You're attending Q spinning classes these days? Is
That was my spinning class. I think I heard. That wasn't you. That was my spinning class.
The QAnon spinning class where they're referencing the storm.
By
the way, I'm here at Comic Ping Pong here in the basement of the pizza place right here in Washington D.C. Lovely pizza. I come for the pizza, stay for the horrible child eating.
Okay, Bob. I just tried to tease you with my Instagram with my bike pictures to try to lure you to the West Coast. For instance, I have a new bike boyfriend. He's a triathlete. His name's Steve. He's from Oregon. I'm riding with him Saturday. I'm just saying, if you moved here.
Yeah, that's no incentive. Because you know what? I used to ride in Kona, Hawaii, where all the triathletes are. And it was so humiliating every time out. It's like, I'm pumping away. I am riding as hard as I can down that main strip where all the Ironman triathlons happen. And these triathletes, holy God, it's like they're on rockets. Vroom, one after another, vroom. I give up. I can't even.
Oh, you big hunk, big slab of man. You'd be fine. All right, let's get into. Thank you. I've already quoted you before I got to talk to you live because you just tweeted, Abbott thinks rapists jump out of dark alleys. No, rapists are often husbands, boyfriends, acquaintances, family. Rape victims might not know they're pregnant until after 6 weeks. Most likely they won't. And due to the Texas law, victims will be stalked and doxxed whenever they try to terminate. I mean, it's just so on brand 2021 Republicans and going, well, we're just going to get rid of rape. We're just like, oh, well, then why didn't anyone think of that before? I mean, they're so not in the real world, right?
Absolutely not. I mean, what they're doing with this law is they're turning every single pregnant woman in Texas into a target because, if you put a financial incentive to anything, you're going to get all kinds of crazies and weirdos stalking and doxing and, just acting like, they deserve to go around and bother pregnant women. You don't have an abortion because I'm going to be right here. I'm watching you. They'll do the whole Robert De Niro thing from Meet the Parents.
That's Circle of Trust. Yeah.
That's exactly how that's going to go. So irrespective of how you ended up getting pregnant, if you're pregnant in Texas, you are now a target because of this law. Now, they may not be able to sue you, but they're going to be keeping their eyes on you, whoever they happens to be. And I imagine there's going to be a whole sub-industry of, bounty hunters and, subcontractors working for those bounty hunters, fanning out across Texas to reap the financial benefits of this. That's real money. $10,000 as a minimum is real money. Yeah. And they're not going to walk past that without doing something.
Yeah. I mean, Bob, boy, if they thought they saw a female tsunami before, after starting with the Women's March and whatever. I mean, this is, first of all, they don't have any coherent, there's Greg Abbott saying, oh, well, we'll just get rid of rape. I mean, and then Caitlyn Jenner, who, why are they even putting her, why are they even putting Caitlyn Jenner on TV? She's at 1% of the vote in this joke of a recall election. She's the joke of the joke. And they're putting her on TV and asking, does this make any sense to you? Hang on.
I am for a women's right to choose. I am also for a state having the ability to make their own laws. What? And so I support Texas in that decision. That's their decision. I'm okay with that. But as far as being a woman's right to choose, I don't see any changes in our laws in California in the future.
Don't hurt yourself twisting yourself
I'm
into a
for
pretzel, Caitlin.
the right to choose, but I'm for Texas is doing this law where women can't choose.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
She's for everything.
Meaning, I'm running for governor in California, and I don't want to offend anyone here. At the same time, I don't want to offend anyone in Texas either. So here's me.
But she doesn't have a snowball's chance here. She's at 1%. Larry Elder, who will make this to us Texas, would be the one that wins. And Bob, what's terrifying, the Bob Cesca don't get happy rule applies all the time. But in California, 76% of the ballots aren't in yet. So people seeing the polling going, oh, he's going to be fine, Newsom's going to be fine. Well, yes, we're a huge majority blue state, but only people vote. And a lot of Democrats didn't even know this is happening, didn't take it seriously, whatever. And here we are, right?
Yeah. This could be absolutely tragic. I mean, a governor elected in a gigantic state like California with only like 19% of the vote or whatever it turns out to be. Yeah. That's a staggeringly awful outcome. And I also like to throw this in just to make people hate me. Mm-hmm. But if you're a fan of a multi-party system rather than a two-party system, this is what it looks like. If you want every single party to have equal status in the United States, you're going to have presidents, senators, members of the House of Representatives elected with 19% of the vote. If you can live with like a Trump-style candidate running for president and winning with only 19% of the vote, by all means, let's get rid of the two-party system. I'm just throwing that out there as a, as a public service announcement on one of my many things that pisses people off on Twitter.
I don't know why that made me think of Glenn Greenwald, but you retweeted Charles Johnson, who said Glenn Greenwald was always like this. He didn't suddenly change. He just changed who he targets with his grift. And you just said bingo. Yep. I mean, because a lot of women, Bob, have felt a lot of anger about the Jill Stein, whatever, the Supreme Court doesn't matter voters in 2016. You hate to be, this is like the most horrible, unsatisfying game of I told you so ever. Right?
Oh my God. Yeah. Elections matter in this country. And the thing that we need to do at this point is to focus on on the states that are now going to borrow the Texas outline for this abortion ban and adopt it in their own state. For example, the Florida legislature is now taking up a very, very similar law as to what was passed in Texas.
And you knew it. It's like, hold my horse paste. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, again, the outrage needs to be directed where the bills are still active in the legislature rather than where they've already been passed. I mean, obviously, there are efforts that need to take place in places like Texas in order to get through the loopholes and get around the law. But in terms of blocking the passage of any further laws, there are states that need to be focused on now, like as I said, Florida, which could be an utter disaster there, too.
Yeah. Speaking of utter disaster, I mean, brings me
really treacherous on the highways.
Yeah, which brings me to my favorite thing every week, and that is you thwacking Don Jr. in the nuts with a ruler on Twitter. It happens every week. You have to watch. Don Jr. tweeted, the only thing Joe Biden built back better was the Taliban. And you just said 5,000 Taliban released from prison by Donald Trump. Yep. Just fact check him. Same thing as whacking him in the nuts with a ruler. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes I go to tweet something like that and I'm like, this is the easiest thing in the world. It's like fish in a barrel. It's like going after Don Jr. because he walks right into his own propeller every single time.
Steps on another rake.
Like he's fighting, right? It's like he's intentionally setting us up to troll him. It's like, okay, I'm going to get everyone to troll me today. Yeah. And here you go. Here's this ridiculous thing that I'm going to say that's going to be easy to beat me up over. Yeah. And that's what we do, obliging him.
Don Jr. in the rake factory. Thwack. Oh, it happened again. Oh, well.
Right. Guys.
That's not it, Grandpa. Sean will find it.
Oh, all right. Give him a break.
Hold on.
He's got 10,000 sounds in there to deal with.
Yes. I know. There you go.
By the way, I looked
That's
it
rake
up.
in the face.
No, it's not. It's called thwack. Ask for thwack next time.
Thwack.
Okay.
Yes,
Thwack.
Bob?
I don't mind saying I have a sound box that I use on my own for my show, and it's got 24,000 sounds in it. I just looked it up when you guys were talking about it earlier. And so I'm beating you in terms of the size of my box.
We mostly mix our fluids. So, I have, that's how I got Delta, Delta, Delta. May I help you?
That's right.
Okay.
It's more of a volume thing, isn't it?
Yes.
You would measure it by volume.
Yes.
So the volume of my box is much more substantial than the volume of your
Why?
box.
Because it's fun.
Delta, 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 can I help you?
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
God.
Oh, look at Grandpa. Grandpa's just hitting all the buttons.
That's my favorite.
We missed Sean already.
Buttons.
Okay. All right. That's close enough. Okay. Thank you.
There you go.
Grandpa found fun.
Perfect. Nicely done.
Okay. All right, Bob, here's what I love about you and I.
You need to break.
All right. We're breaking now, but here's what I love about you and I is we both love Ted Lasso because we're both little Ted Lassos. We try to be optimistic.
Oh, we try so hard.
Lift other people up. Like all our regulars and people on the podcast network, I think are just the smartest, funniest people in the country. And that's all we can do, right? We got to just try to keep Ted Lassoing each other, lift each other up. It's just, I'm so tired of people tearing each other down. That's all we can do is lift up, the voices and the people that we, think are.
Except for Don Jr.
We're the last grown-ups in the room.
Yeah.